Good evening, everyone. What we're working on today is a 2005 Chevy Aveo. I think it's got around 70 or 80,000 miles on it. But the complaint is the passenger side window isn't going down. So let's take a look here. We got up. I don't know if you can hear that switch clicking, but we have no down. So I went ahead and printed up the schematic, see what all is involved in this circuit. We'll go over it real quick. Now, the orange is your power and the green's naturally your ground. What this is that's a horrible picture. You have a hot when the key is turned on. That hot pulls in this relay, which actually sends power to your window switch, and that's so that you can't roll your windows down when the key's off. You come down here, this green, like I said before, is your ground. Come down here and you see it sends the power to your window switch. And what you're doing with this window switch is up, when you go up, it swings power to one side of the motor, which is called a field and an armature. And I don't know which one does which, but what you do is you give power to one and a ground to the other, and that turns the motor in one direction. Then when you push the switch the other way, it does just the opposite. And I just wanted to make sure that there were no other relays that control this, because some of these, when you push the window switch, you're actually sending power to another relay that sends power back to the window motor, so the window motor will go up and down. And this is a fairly simple one because you only have one main relay, which is right here. So let's go over and see what we got. So we know it's not working. No down. Let's see if I can get both of these in the picture. No down, but we have up. So let's get this switch unplugged and take it over to the bench and test it. Now I got to do this with two hands, so hold on 1 minute. Alright, so I'll put you in my makeshift rest here. Maybe point you up a little bit. Get the meter turned on. Now I'm on ohms. What I want to do is check continuity in this switch. Now I know, whoops, where are we at here? That the three on the bottom, 1, 2, 3. That middle one on the bottom is your power wire coming from that relay. So what I'm going to do is that ends up being this right here. That's what that ends up as, right there. So I'll get a jumper wire, clip it on that center pin, and I'll clip another end to my meter, DVOM, multimeter, whatever you want. I've never called it a DVOM. I've always called it a multimeter. And I want to get the meter in the picture too. Alright, I'm going to go to one side of this. Continuity. Go to the other side, which you're going to have to move because, like I said, it reverses. Continuity. And that's a lot of mistakes people make, and they say, well, I got continuity through both sides of the switch, so something else is wrong. But if you look at this, that's showing, a tenth of an ohm or a thousandth of an ohm. I think that comes out to be a thousandth of an, or a hundredth of an ohm, I'm sorry. On this other side, you're showing quite a bit of resistance. Okay, so in the world of electricity, that right there is a huge number. And this number does it. I've cycled this switch probably 50 times, and I've had it anywhere from 9 to 42. That's the highest I've seen right there. Now it's up to 45. And what that does is impede the amount of current that can flow through this switch. But you can't roll the switch out just for that. And like I said, this is a Chevy Aveo. They're not a real popular car anymore, and a lot of parts stores don't carry parts for them. For this switch, I have to get it from Virginia. I've already ordered it, but you want to make sure you go through every single bit of testing you can to make sure this is bad. So next here, we'll go over to the car. I'll show you some voltage drops. And that's one of the most definitive ways to figure out if a component is bad, a voltage drop test. And this is very simple to do on. I can show you some other things too, so give me 1 minute to get this all hooked back up and everything set up, and we'll be back. Alright everyone, we're back at the car here. What you see here is I have the actual plug for the motor back probed. I can't back probe it because it's buried in that hole. So I can't probe it out there and show it to you. But this is another mistake that people make when trying to do voltage test, or just any type of component test. Now what you're looking for is when you switch push the switch, you're looking for it to change states. And like I said before, it reverses polarity on the motor, and that's how you get the direction. So if we go down here, I must not have a T-pin in correctly, so we'll have to make an A adjustment. There we go. Okay. Now watch. Like I said, we're looking for it to change states. So that's down. We have a positive 11.6 volts. Now we'll go up. We have a negative 11.6 volts. So this switch is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's reversing the polarity, and it's sending enough voltage to turn this motor on. So now we'll do a voltage drop and see what's going on with this switch. As soon as I get set up for that, I'll turn the camera off here and we'll be back. Let me show you what I got here. I have that center power wire back probed, my negative meter lead on that wire. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch one of my leads to this side and this side while operating the window, and you're going to see the difference in voltage between what you have here and what's actually going between these two. Now remember, a meter measures the difference between the two leads. It measures the difference from this lead to this lead. Okay, so if voltage is passing through here, you're going to get a reading of 0 or very low. And if only a little bit of voltage is passing through here, you're going to see the remainder of what the motor is not getting. So you're just going to have to trust me on what I'm doing here, because I got to put you in this makeshift stand so you can see the meter, and you're not going to be able to actually see what I'm doing, but you'll see the difference in voltage, is what we call voltage drop. Make sure that you're able to see that meter. Okay, here we go. Now remember, this will go up, it won't go down, so when I test up, you're going to get a little bit of a higher voltage draw than what you normally should, because the window's all the way up, so it's deadheading the window. So let's see what we got here. Got about less than 1/4 of a volt it's losing. Now if the window was going up, that would be reading 1 or less. So let's go to down. That's the way the window's not working, and see what we get here. Okay, we were at, what do we got for good voltage here? 11.54 volts. We got to go down, the meter drops, to 28, 29, 27. That means this motor is trying to run on less than 1/4 of a volt, and you're losing that voltage between bad contacts in this switch. That's the bad one, that's down. This is the good one, up. Not even losing a full volt right now. And the only reason it's losing that much, you're losing, less than 1/10 of a volt. And that's because the motor's deadheading trying to push the window up when it can't go up any further. We'll go back down. Losing, it's running on less than 1/4 of a volt. That means you're losing over 11 volts through this switch. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this helps someone. See you later.